Have you ever found yourself constantly thinking about someone even though they might not even know you even exist? This intense fixation is known as limerence, a state of infatuation and obsession that feels different from love, but is just as powerful. So let's get clear on what limerence is. Limerence is a word used to describe someone who shows an obsessive attachment to a particular person or a limerent object that interferes with their daily life. It's that feeling where someone becomes your first thought in the morning and your last one at night. And their attention to you, or when you feel like a nothing to them, becomes your emotional barometer.
Honestly, part of me thought this date would never come, and now it feels so easy, so right. This is how our story goes, Beck.
You know having a crush will eventually fade away. Well, limerence isn't that way at all. It grabs hold of you and insists on being felt, even if the person you're drawn to doesn't give you any encouragement.
And there you were. Every account set to public. You want to be seen, heard, known. Of course, I obliged.
If you've ever felt this way, you know it's more than just liking someone. It's an intense emotional bond that can feel like impossible to shake.
If you lead me on, or let me down, or go behind my back, I will murder you. I swear to God I will eat your heart.
So people who experience limerence desperately want connection, but find it hard to connect. It can feel like having more in your head than in the real world. That's pretty scary. Now, one red flag of limerence is losing touch with the reality of the person you're fixated on.
And then I saw you.
And you know, I really do believe that things happen for a reason. That all the hard stuff and the craziness, and frankly my own mistakes.
If you've watched any episodes of the Netflix psychological thriller You, you've seen limerence in action. The show follows Joe Goldberg, a bookstore manager with a dark and obsessive nature, played by Penn Badgley. Joe becomes infatuated with different women and goes to extreme lengths to pursue and control them.
I'm an understanding, supportive boyfriend. She wants to watch you, have you, control you like she controls every other piece of her life. She wants you all to herself. Beck, you've got a stalker.
Over 4 seasons, You shows how limerence can be a dangerous, dark force that blurs the line between love, obsession, and possession. Joe's pattern starts with an intense, idealized fixation on someone he sees as a soulmate, beginning with Genevieve Beck and continuing with Love Quinn, among many others. Now there's this scene that shows the beginning of Joe's limerence in season 1, when he first starts falling for Genevieve. Joe watches Beck through the bookstore window, narrating his immediate and intense fascination with her. He notices her smile, her mannerisms, and how she fits into his idealized vision of a partner.
Hello there. Who are you? Based on your vibe, student. Your blouse is loose. You're not here to be ogled, but those bracelets, they jangle. You like a little attention. Okay, I bite.
Joe's narrative reveals his deep yearning for a connection and his instant, overwhelming attraction to Beck. He romanticizes their potential relationship, imagining a future together based on very little kind of interaction. Now, this moment is crucial as it sets the tone for his character, showing how his limerence isn't just about physical stalking or manipulation, but also an inner world filled with intense, obsessive thoughts and idealizations that feel real and just blatantly justified to him.
When we live together, your place won't be a pigsty. I'll clean for us. And you won't eat all this frozen shit. I'll cook for you every day. I promise. I'll even do your laundry.
As the show progresses, it delves into Joe's deep emotional attachment and his justification of dangerous behaviors, believing them to be acts of love. Now, his delusional belief drives him to manipulate and control every aspect of his interests' lives, showing that limerence is not romantic devotion, but a psychological compulsion. His fixation on particular women goes beyond ordinary romantic interest. It becomes an all-consuming, leading him to stalk, manipulate, and even harm those he believes stand in the way of his perceived perfect relationship.
Maple almond latte.
Did you want? Do you want a bump?
Yeah. Whoa, bro.
It shows the destructive consequences limerence can have on the object of affection and the person experiencing it. And it really leads you to question the very boundaries between love and obsession.
Your old phone, which I have, is still logged into the cloud. And that means I'm still logged into you.
Joe's intense desire to find love makes it almost impossible for him to understand how the other person feels about him or how his actions impact them. Now, this can have serious consequences. One of the most, dare I say, intense and disturbing scenes that shows limerence in You is in season 1, where Joe's obsession with Genevieve Beck reaches a dangerous climax. The scene in which Joe traps Beck in his glass book vault showcases the darkest aspects of limerence.
Joe! Why am I in here?
Sounds good.
Because we're talking, we're getting it out of the open.
His desire to protect and keep Beck for himself results in extreme control and just imprisonment, showing his complete disconnect from reality and his justification of his actions as necessary for their love.
How long are you gonna keep me in here? If this is just temporary.
Oh, well, honestly, I haven't thought that far ahead.
I need to know that I can trust you.
Now, this moment clearly shows how limerence can spiral into harmful actions. It highlights how obsessive love can turn into controlling and even violent behavior. Often someone experiencing limerence doesn't actually want love in the real sense of the word. They don't understand a mutually loving relationship.
What, you act like I am not all in. I am right here. All I do is worry about you.
I don't need you to worry about me. I need your heart.
And so understanding limerence is important, not just to know how it's different from a crush or being in love, but also to recognize when it's happening and how it affects you. Now, just like as I mentioned previously, limerence ranges from mild symptoms to like a full-blown obsession.
So great to finally meet your mother.
What do you mean finally? You just met me.
Doesn't feel that way.
Understanding limerence is crucial not just to distinguish it from a crush or being in love, but to recognize when it's happening and how it affects you. Limerence is a way more intense kind of connection than a crush. Now, I've worked with several people experiencing it, and those also on the receiving end, and it's seriously tough. For example, I once worked with a guy who met a woman through a dating app. After just a couple of dates, she was already talking about the future together, saying things like, when are we going to get married? Or when are we going to have kids? Or where should we live? That's limerence in action. Limerence causes people to lose track of where they actually are in the relationship. They jump ahead, caught up in their hopes and their dreams and just losing touch with reality. It's like being trapped in like a whirlwind of emotions where their idealized vision of the relationship just takes over. things can be overwhelming and confusing for both the person experiencing it and the one on the receiving end. This all demonstrates the impact of limerence. But why does limerence have such a powerful hold? It isn't just about the person you're fixated on. It often serves as a mirror reflecting deeper aspects of yourself. It can be linked to low self-esteem or anxiety that might be overlooked. Think of it as like a signal alerting you to areas within yourself that need attention and nurturing. With Goldberg from You, his limerence for Beck isn't just about his feelings for her.
You smiled, laughed at my jokes, told me your name, asked for mine.
It's linked to his own insecurities, his past traumas, and his dissatisfaction in his own life. Now, raised in a neglectful and abusive environment, he lacked nurturing relationships.
Joey, how did you find... Do you hate me? What? You think I'm bad? What I did? Joey, what's wrong with me?
This leads him to idealize these unreal romantic connections to fulfill his emotional voids. And his mentor, Mr. Mooney, further distorted his ideas about love through abusive control, teaching Joe that love involves possession and dominance.
I killed him. Listen to me, boy. So long as you tell no one, you are fine. Men, they go off to war, kill people every day, then come back and get on with their lives. Hear me? His life is over, not yours.
Lacking positive role models and heavily influenced by romantic literature, Joe falls into limerence to compensate for his inadequacies and his desire for acceptance. Limerence might seem like an escape, a way to fill a void with fantasies of perfect love and connection.
Oh, you have a way with people. They just like you. Your shirt is faded but fresh. You like to take care of things. Your shoes are clean but worn. You walk in a town where nobody walks.
It keeps you from developing your self-worth and being independent of someone else. So if you can relate to what I'm describing as limerence, it might be good to ask yourself, what am I wanting through this obsession with this person? Is it a genuine connection? Or am I trying to distract myself from deeper pain in my own life?